One part are these drawings on the wall, these hardly visible female figures that are forming some composition. You should actually discover them, or I'm totally okay if you just pass by and don't even realize they are part of the exhibition. And also there is a sound which is very rare, every 15 minutes, and it lasts very short. I'm not sure if we are now catch some of it, and if not, again, I'm totally okay with that. My work is on psychological abuse against women, and it is especially important for this time and space, Serbia nowadays, and Belgrade, where I live and work in, because we are still very, very conservative, and also there are, of course, legal regulations about violence, domestic violence. But still it is the procedures are so small that not many women are actually reporting the abuse. People tell you that you are very spoiled, or that that you had wrong expectations of the man or of marriage. Figures on the walls are fulfilled with a text, each figure one sentence. All the sentences are taken out of my own my personal collection. I call it the diary of insults.
The title of my work, Men Don't Cry, is about deconstructing the stereotype, the gender stereotype, and it's a video. It's well, I call it auto performance. It's a performance that I did in one moment of my life. And it's a situation where I'm cutting the onion, and at the beginning I start to have physical reaction, of course, of onion. I start to cry, but somewhere in the middle I start to cry like emotionally, but it's the title is like Men Don't Cry, so. For me, it's a strange feeling to exhibit this work on this exhibition, and so many people ask me how do I feel to exhibit a work like how do I feel to be present here as a male artist between so many feminists. And at the beginning, I didn't feel like I was feeling like it's a normal thing. I didn't feel anything like it's a weird or strange situation. Like, I mean, but now, like, the time is passing. Like, I feel a bit strange because so many people is asking that, and so many people are putting me in a position of like, am I a feminist or not, or. And that's why, like, and I'm dealing in my work about the gender position from my point of view, from a point of straight male artist, from the position, like how could I support feminism from that position?
The last couple of years, he uses text and philosophical and political texts as visual material. The work is entitled Mladen Dolar, Hegel's Phenomenology of Spirit, and basically it's the work, it's not in a sense for reading, but only it uses this technique that we know very well, which is only being bombarded by headlines, in a sense. Haute couture and eccentric archive. All of the research is of the eccentric archive is here. So please feel free and approach the book, the very nice book. Yes, maybe we should open it so people feel encouraged. And the archive, it's also online, and it's really very informative and also very poetic.
This is my piece. It's called Squeak the Improbable Igloo. I'm primarily a performance artist, and I was approaching around 2009 this idea of the aging female body. I know this sounds very roundabout, but it's getting to this shape. There's always a problem with a woman on stage because her body is immediately judged. You know, you decide immediately, is she good looking, is she not good looking? Women are probably worse judges of women than men are. And as I got older and was feeling that I was being very tired of my art always being associated with my physical shape and my mouth and the words that came out of my mouth, I started to imagine what it would be like to have a performance but without a performer, or primarily without myself as a performer. So I tried to imagine what sort of space I could create that would stimulate performance from the audience. And tangentially, at the same time, I had a dream that I had a microphone as a head, and I lived in a house made of speakers. And every time I would go close to the walls, there would be this terrible feedback. So I would be confined to the middle of the house unless I felt particularly sad or trashy, and I would go to the edge of the walls and make this terrible noise. And when I woke up, I made a drawing of this house, this woman with a speaker, and so I submitted this drawing, and a little while later she said to me, you know, is this a real project? And I bluffed, and I said, of course it is, you know, but it wasn't. And so then I started to think about how I would do this house made of speakers. And the igloo seemed like a perfect shape because the speakers are supplanting the ice blocks. The engineering of it is much simpler than trying to make straight angles in a solid wall. And as well, because I'm Canadian and it's sort of while not directly part of my ethnic heritage, it is part of a sort of mythical vision of what people think of when they think of Canada, people living in igloos.
This work is exactly what you see it is. So the bottles are empty alcohol bottles, and the work is called After Party. And inside of the bottle there is a pine tree, which is the only tree that you cut and it's not regenerating. And it has also a lot of symbolic meaning in the underworld, underground world. Then on the little posts there are ads from the newspapers that are talking mainly about art scene they are taken from Montenegrin newspapers. Then there are little sculptures with my hair on it, and earth, flower, and ashes. And I would not like to talk more about this work because everything what I said and what is really inside, it's kind of leaving a free association together with the title what this work could mean.
Gözde Ilkin, an artist from Istanbul, and Gözde is at the exhibition present her embroidery works.
And I usually collected different clothes, usually the second hand and the founded clothes and also the objects. So I stitch and paint on the clothes. So, but at the concept, I usually collected different images and different symbols from the Turkish political and social situations. Some symbols and some motifs, and I can say I use the clothes as a stage or as a space, and install these symbols on the clothes. So it's a little bit like this, I can say. And at the same time, the title is important for the stitch paintings because it's described the situations, what happens, and I usually choose the sentences from the newspapers and some magazines and some stuffs from usually Turkey.
With us is Adela Jušić, an artist based in Sarajevo.
So this is the Ride the Recoil project, which was first done of like an online exhibition for the New York magazine Triple Canopy. And for this exhibition we decided to choose like a selection from this online project. So we decided to choose these photos and this sound. So basically, the work is done inspired by this new video game, which is called Sniper Ghost Warrior 2. So it is a video game, first-person shooter video game, where you are in the position of the sniper and you are walking around the cities and killing some soldiers, people. And part of the video game was set up in Sarajevo in 1993. So, as you probably all know, that Sarajevo was surrounded by the snipers. At that time I was like 10 to 14 years old. For this exhibition we made these several photos, not these photos, but we made a series of photos. It's just one. And basically what we did is went to these buildings in the center of Sarajevo where the snipers were positioned in 1993. Also the buildings from which they had all this architecture from the video game. And we were just making the photographs of people, children, young couples, old people, just to see how it feels, you know, to be there at the top of the building and having everybody really close to your objective, not to the sniper, but however. And the sound is done from their trailer. So basically what they're doing, this computer voice is explaining how to snipe the best. And I talked to my friends and people around, and we collected and kind of made a manual that we already knew how to avoid the sniper.